me tell you about a victory I had just now.
Oh my God, please tell me.
So I called Rich because I got home before him, which doesn't usually happen.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, hey, can you give me a cheeseburger? And he will normally say no because he doesn't pass anything on his way home. And he's always like, I have food. Why don't you have food?
Typical man, yeah.
And I was like, I had prepared my argument while I was in the shower about why he should go get it for me. And
Oh,
all I
hell
had to
yeah.
say was, will you get me a cheeseburger? And he's like, all right, what do you want? I was like, I mean, Sonic?
I mean, a tipper deck scabbard? What?
Give her I can't, I can't.
I can't, I can't. What
Listen,
did you want?
oh, go ahead. I'm gonna post on our Instagram at Wild and Woke Quad
Okay,
this
yeah.
video that Rich took after Piper got in the trash and he's doing that sound effect with her.
Wow, what the fuck? He is the best dad. Literally last night, Gordon downloaded TikTok. So it's the small
So
things right now in my relationship.
that is true love because Rich would never.
He finally did. And then I tried to show him who like Bretman Rock was on Instagram, and I think I took it a little bit too far, so I backed off a little bit.
He was like, "Can I have some space, please?
And
I want to discover TikTok on my own terms."
yeah, I definitely like had to back off. So I haven't tagged him in anything yet because he's like, I don't get it. And then like he started laughing, and I was like, oh, he's getting it now.
He's addicted now.
Welcome.
So that's the TikTok of the week. And if you have TikTok that we're talking about, and if you don't, why have you not downloaded it yet?
Yeah, and this isn't even sponsored. Like, do you just not want to be happy? That's fucking Gordon typing. Gordon, your typing is too motherfucking loud.
It sounds like an old person hitting it one key at a time. I'm sure it's not like that, but that's what it sounds like. Typewriter
Um,
style.
hello, sir. Sir, hello.
Making noise.
You tip typing too loud. Up in this. So I took my cat to the groomers today, and that
Why?
was, um, well, not really my cat. Like my cat. Are you picking up what I'm putting down?
Oh my god. I'm thinking that. Your kitty cat.
Yeah. So I took him to the groomers today.
I forgot for like a split second.
Did you go to take your cat to the groomers today?
No, I got off too late, but
Mm.
my cat is a fucking mess.
Let me just tell you how fucking cool my groomer was. We talked shit about our kids the whole time, and it made the time go by like 10 times faster. I also hardcore like chugged a wine. And it was not as terrible as I remembered. So that's cool.
Wait, they serve wine at your groomer?
Yeah.
Bitch.
Yeah, I know.
Well, let me tell you a funny story about my groomer real quick. I'm about to give her a shout out because she's amazing. I've been going to her
Oh,
since
hell
I moved to
yeah.
Birmingham.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I walked in there. I Googled this place that had really good reviews. Gordon taught me that.
Yeah. Shout out to Gordon and
Shout out
Google.
to Gordon. Um, so I walk in there. I make this appointment with a random person. I don't have a preference. I get in there and I'm like, this bitch looks so familiar. And we had just moved to Birmingham, so I don't know anybody. Like, she looks so familiar. And so we get to talking, and she's like, I know you. And I'm like, bitch, how?
But also same.
Same. She's like, I used to wax. Whoops. I used to groom your kitty in Greenville.
Shut up.
And I was like, oh my God, Ashley.
Oh my God, that is amazing.
And she did my mom's cat too.
Oh my God, dude, that's fucking nuts.
I know. Anybody ever.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, no, I was talking to Gordon today, and like the kid was at school, and I was like, listen, I think I'm just gonna take the cat in. Just like it was totally spontaneous. I was like, I'm just gonna go, and I like left. So that was like, and then I guess Christmas happened. Yeah, that's important too. It was Holly and Jolly.
Holly and Jolly. Even though you had to
Yeah,
work for a little bit.
Yeah, I did, but it honestly wasn't bad at all. Like, it was like one case and then I got to go home. So I was like, fucking, it was lit. I was like, I don't mind this at all.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, y'all.
What'd you get?
Nothing.
You didn't get anything?
I mean, like, you know, my mom like got me some shit, but like,
What did
it
Gordon
wasn't
get
like,
you?
um,
Did he put a bow on his penis? Because Rich was like, "This is your present."
did he put a bow on his?
No, he actually made me something, but he joked about doing that.
Oh my God, what did he make you?
He made me. I'm gonna have to take a picture of it because it's really hard to explain.
Mm-hmm.
It's a thing to go in the bathroom, and he painted it and built it and hammered it and everything.
Okay, like, how did he do this without you knowing about it?
He did it in the garage.
Oh.
He actually did it on Christmas Eve because, you know, he's been working like every day. So on Christmas Eve, he went and bought the stuff from Lowe's and Hobby Lobby, came home and was like out there all day. And it's this thing that goes on my wall, and the top part is like uh, it's not a basket, but it's a holder, and it's gonna hold all my skincare and stuff that's on the counter right now. And then
Damn.
the middle part he made to hang all my jewelry, and then the bottom has two jars on it for like Q-tips and cotton balls.
Oh, dude, that is so awesome.
It is really great. He messed like one of the measurements up, but it was just with the jar, so he has to fix that before I can hang it. But I was really excited because I thought, oh my God, he's making me like, because I'd been asking for a hidden kitty litter box, you know, adult things.
Grown up things. An
So I thought
actual
he was
kitty litter
making me
box,
that.
everyone, okay?
But yeah, it was really sweet. And
You can
I
make
don't,
those out of like IKEA furniture.
kitty litter boxes?
Yeah, like hidden ones.
I know. I've seen people, and it's basically like a bench, like you know when you walk into someone's house and they have like a little bench right there.
Yeah.
It's got a kitty litter box in it, and I was like, God
Yeah.
damn it, I need one of those.
Yeah, that's the cat shitter. It's totally awesome.
Also,
Okay,
Rich, go
so
ahead.
okay, this is really quick. We had really good intentions of getting Rich those cookies that he likes because on Christmas Day, like dumb bitch itis I must have. I thought, not we, like I won't include anybody else. My dumbass thought, oh my God, we should go to Disney Springs today because no one's going to be at Disney. Wow. I am the stupidest bitch alive. We got there and it was like everyone and their mom from the entire universe was there, aliens included, like even Jesus Christ himself. I was like, what the
Oh.
fuck?
Did you go
So
on
we
Christmas
like,
Eve or Christmas Day?
nah, girl, Christmas Day, the day of Christ's birth, we were
I
there.
cannot believe that they were even open.
Oh yeah, all of Disney was open, but I was like, oh, everyone else will be like at the parks and stuff. No. So we like went to like the margarita stand because like all the way in the back of Disney Springs, there's like this margarita stand and it's always like dead. And lo and behold, it was totally dead. So we just like got margs and hung out with the baby. But I was like, we'll get Richie cookies another day because we fully intended on going to get Richie like literally 400 cookies and like mailing them to you guys. And then I
Oh
was
my
like,
God, he would have loved it, especially if they like melted and formed into one large cookie. That would have been
that
amazing.
might happen. That might happen when we actually go back and do it for real because I was like so upset, but then also there were so many people. I was like, fuck this.
Oh my God, I can't believe you even did that, dumb bitch itis.
Dumb bitch itis. It was thick, girl. I was like, what the fuck am I doing?
Okay, well, you want to get started?
Yes.
Yes. Um,
Oh, wait. Do you want to read our reviews?
yes, I do.
Okay,
Hold
cool.
on. I don't forgot where I put my phone. It's right here between my legs.
I literally don't know how to get to the reviews, so.
Well, you can't. Oh, yeah, you can. You have Apple Podcasts. Wait, do you?
I have an Android phone. So shout out, this is like for Emily. Hello, Emily, I love you. In order to leave a review, step by step, 1, you have to get on a laptop or PC. You cannot use your Android phone. Step 2, download iTunes. Step 3, either remember your old iTunes information or make a whole new one. That's what I did. That's what took 45 fucking minutes. Then find our podcast in the iTunes store and then leave a review. And then if you're not Emily and you don't know what you're doing, follow those same instructions.
Because we would really love for you to leave us reviews. Right now, we are at 8 ratings with 5 stars. So
What?
basically, we're famous.
Basically, I don't know why Amazon has not reached out to me personally, but it's fine.
Okay, I am going to read our reviews. 5 stars. Addicting. These girls are so outgoing and funny, it's impossible not to listen to every single episode. They draw you in and keep you entertained in an educating and hilarious way. I love it. That was on Tuesday, and the name is Anemic Khaki, but I found out it's my brother's girlfriend, Lizzie. So shout out to you, bitch.
Thanks, bitch.
Ariana, I'm gonna throw us under the bus real quick, but we got so excited when we saw that review because we were like, it's a real person that we haven't threatened to review us.
I know. I was like, oh my God, it's not someone that we personally know. And that's like, oh. But still, shout out to you. I need all the reviews I can get.
And did I tell you Mark reviewed us?
My Mark?
Yeah.
Shut up. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. He told me. What did it say? I didn't want to like read it till I heard you speak it.
You didn't threaten him, did you? Like this is a real review.
Yeah. Like he did it himself.
Okay. 5 stars. I'm loving it with 4 exclamation points.
Oh my God. He is loving it.
Wow. I've been listening to all your podcasts, and you guys are not only funny, but quite entertaining. I'm looking forward to that Flat Earth episode and whatever crazy stuff you guys end up doing. Keep it up. You guys are the bomb with 6 exclamation points.
Wow. I love how he shouted out his own guest appearance episode, but you know what? Keep him wanting it. Keep him hungry. We got snacks. If you're hungry, we're the snack machine.
I love it. So yeah, we're having Marky Mark. Mark, is that his real name, Mark Wahlberg?
No.
Okay.
But we can call him that.
Nobody's gonna believe that we're having Mark Wahlberg on.
I mean, we can just call him Mark Wahlberg. It's fine.
I love it. I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah. So we're having Mark Wahlberg on, although the real life Mark Wahlberg is Caucasian. Our Mark Wahlberg is a little bit, he been left in the oven a little bit longer. You know what I'm saying? So the Mark Wahlberg pizza is like the white pizza. You know how they have like the no sauce pizza? That's the real Mark Wahlberg. But our Mark Wahlberg is like, you know, a sausage pizza or something. It's like a little more brown and pepperoni.
Wait, did I read Gorgeous last week?
You did. And it was terrible. But we can just, you know, pass that one over.
Oh, and we had a shout out on Instagram today. Did you see that?
No, bitch. What? Let me get on Instagram right the fuck now.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so the account is called Spooky Shit, and it's just like I want to say it's a girl, it might be a guy that runs it, and they just like tell creepy stories and stuff. But they posted us on their stories, and they said, "I love finding new podcasts to listen to," and then they tagged us.
Bitch, I just liked every single one of her pictures. So
yeah, and then she followed my personal account. I don't know if she followed yours. I
don't think so. I'm not that. She liked my pictures? Oh no, she followed me. That's on period.
Period.
I hate myself. Okay, so
anyway, so that's really exciting. If you haven't reviewed us already, please go review us. Like, if you don't like us, I mean, you could leave us a bad review. It's fine. But if you do like to listen to us instead of just being like this silent listener that we don't know about, go review us so we know that you like us and so that we can talk about you in a nice way on the podcast.
Yeah, because technically we're like passively aggressively talking shit when you don't leave reviews. So
I see all you people that look at our stories and then I know you listen because I can see the city. So I know it's you, and you've listened 18 times, but you haven't left a review.
Yeah, fucking, where is that other one? Nashville, Tennessee.
Right.
Where you at, boo? You've been our A1 since day one, so can you just shout yourself out at this point? Who are you?
Yourself out. I don't know anybody. The only person I know in Nashville is Becca's older sister, Jessica, and I mean, I don't think she would listen to our podcast.
I literally don't know anybody there.
I think she still lives there. Anyway, like, even if you don't want to leave a review, go to our Instagram, hop in those DMs, and be like, hey, this is the city I'm from. And I'm going to shout you
Yeah.
out because
I mean, I'm trying really hard. I'm like Mr. Worldwide over here. I have my first Luxembourg listener, and I'm taking that on my side because that's my people. So there's one person from Luxembourg. So,
do
you
you
know,
know anyone from Denmark?
no.
Me either. Or Canada, but we have listeners from Canada and Denmark that I don't.
We
That,
probably say too many bad words for the Canadians. They're probably upset.
true. So my boss asked me tonight about the podcast, and she was like, "What is it?"
Ugh.
She was like, "What is it about?" Because I already told her husband,
Yeah.
and she was like, "What is it about?" And I was like, "Well, first of all, it's real explicit." I'm gonna
Oh my
throw that
God.
out there. And then I had to explain that it was about like conspiracy theories and paranormal and murder and shit without sounding crazy. I take care of their 8-month-old baby 55 hours a week.
Yeah, everyone at work asks me like, "So what's your podcast about?" I saw something about it, and I was like, it's about like ghosts and murder and stuff." And then they're like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." And I was like, "Yeah, so have you heard about Maura Murray or whatever her name is?" And then they're like, and I'm like, "Yeah, I mean Black Eyed Children." And they're like, and I'm like, "Okay, too
And
far,
then
too
you
far, too far."
take it too far and go, well, let's talk about lizard people.
Yeah, I wear my alien Vans to work all the time. So they're like, "Do you like aliens?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you want to see this tattoo? I literally have an alien tattooed to my arm, but just for fun, not serious or anything." Little do they know.
Little do they know. Okay, let's really get started.
All right, speaking of aliens,
Speaking, this has nothing to do with aliens, Ariana.
I mean, I don't know. I have some like theories here. Mine's
Oh.
wide and broad, yeah.
Okay, well, why don't you start and then I'll just interrupt you.
Let me just read something because I got a lot of feedback from my friends about our astrology episode, and everyone fucking loved it. Our horoscopes together.
Oh
Like
my
me and
God.
you, our compatibility. So I found some shit about Virgo and Capricorn, aka me and you, bitch. It says both share an amazing ability to communicate and understand one another. Their conversations get better over time, and so does the relationship. They will understand each other's goals and hopes for the future. These two will support each other throughout the good times and the bad. They will provide each other with what the other person instinctively needs and desires sexually.
Ooh,
You can't
bitch.
go, ooh, girl. You can't go wrong with this astrological combination. Period. It says that in the sentence.
Wow.
Yeah. Strong feelings and loyalty will keep these two together. Amazing sex and falling in love often result with this combination. It doesn't get any better than this.
Okay, our
So,
husbands need to watch the fuck out.
you're lucky you live in Alabama, bitch. That's all I gotta say.
I'll be jumping you in the good
Hell
way.
yeah. Jumping them bones.
Um, yeah, Ariana sent me that today, and like I read it, and immediately I was like, "Are you asking me to have sex with you?" Because I'm
Yes.
down.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna get a
Oh,
plane ticket.
real quick, I have to tell you something super, super funny that I probably wouldn't have told you, but now I will because we're a little bit closer than we used to be.
Oh wow. Okay. I didn't think we
Okay,
get any closer, but please tell me.
okay. I mean, it's not anything bad. It's just I thought you might judge me before. So
Okay.
when we first got to know each other, you were hanging out with Emily a lot because you were in nursing school, and I was
Yeah.
like, I was talking to Rich one day, and I was like, could you call each other sister wives? And I was like, do you think Emily gets down with them in the bedroom? Because I mean, you literally look like the same person. And Gordon, you're just making him dinner and shoving alcohol in his face. And I'm like, they got a real actual sister wives situation going on. And then I
Okay,
get,
can I tell you how I basically said to Gordon, I was like, I mean, I think that Emily and I would be a better couple than me and you because we're just so much alike. And Gordon, like, Gordon and I literally had a full on argument about how he was like, you and Emily would never make it together. She's too headstrong and you're too passive. And I was like, yeah, that's why it would work. And he's like, no, 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 you don't understand. And I was like, honestly, Emily fucking lived with us for a little bit and it was fucking great. She did the dishes. We cooked dinner together. You always had a hot meal when you came home. I don't understand what the fucking issue is. And then I literally texted Emily and I was like, listen, you think we'd be good if we were together? Because I think that we would. And she probably was like, what the fuck, bitch? But also agreed.
what the fuck? Rich and I talk a lot about how Kevin's gonna be like, why are you saying this? about how if anything ever happened to either of us, I know that I could be in a relationship with Becca. And he's like, oh yeah, I could totally be in a relationship with Kevin. And I was like, basically, you already are.
That's
Anyway,
hilarious.
that was my story. And I'm pretty sure Rich asked Gordon one time if you guys like had threesomes, and Gordon was like, no.
Gordon's like, damn, I wish, but no.
Oh my God. Anyway,
Okay, so
yeah, so we're super compatible.
I went back to the website that gave me a virus. So let me cover it really quick before I get it. More viruses. I don't know how computers work. Gordon's probably like quaking right now. He's probably like he can feel it in his bones that I'm about to fuck up the internet.
Is he still right there?
No, he left, so that's
Okay.
why I panicked. I didn't have an adult and I didn't know what to do. Okay, so today we're talking about MK Ultra, everyone.
Yeah.
So this is so MK Ultra, from what I understand, is like an umbrella topic. It was conducted by the CIA from 1953 to 1973 when it was reportedly stopped. They used methods of mind control on people, and then sometimes the people that they did the mind control on had no idea. So some of the things they would do is test subjects were in sensory deprivation. They were giving hallucinogenic drugs. They were tortured, sexually abused. So this might be like some trigger warnings for some people, just a heads
Yeah.
up. So the CIA was doing all these tests in order to see like if they could, like my understanding is ultimately like mind control and to kind of like get the ultimate fighter kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
They would
that's basically it.
also use criminals and prisoners. And then what they did with the prisoners, I think, and the criminals specifically, was they would try to get them to confess their crimes. So a lot of these experiments were done without the people's consents. There were several deaths that happened and lawsuits against the government. And interestingly enough, during the Watergate scandal, most of these records allegedly were destroyed. How convenient.
Hmm.
And then further documents were released later in 2001 and 2008. But some like random like facts here in case you're not aware of this whole shit show. I have like 10. So like one is alcohol was regularly used at MK Ultra because it was kind of like they thought of it more of like a low grade truth serum because it could slow down your glutamine pathways. So like people would allegedly be more subjective to suggestions. Another is that MK Ultra might be behind the entire pharmaceutical industry, which I was like, what the fuck?
What? Oh my God.
Yeah. And another is that alien abduction is a smokescreen for MK Ultra programming, which I thought was really cool because they said that like instead of actually aliens abducting you, it was actually a part of MK Ultra programmers. They would alter the abductees' unconsciousness or subconscious to make them think that they were abducted by aliens, but in reality, it was the CIA.
Mm.
And this one was fucking bizarre as hell. It said there's a connection between ear candling and MK Ultra. So like you put the ear candle in your ear and you light the wick and it's like supposed to suck your earwax out.
Yes.
Well, if you've ever done that, allegedly, if you have any like pain, buzzing noise, or discomfort, MK Ultra put something in your ear. So
Oh my God, I'm gonna make everybody I know do that now.
y'all got. um,
Wow.
and then, like I said earlier, like their ultimate goal was to get like hypnosis for like the ultimate mind control for like the ultimate weapon. Um, and the methods that they would use, number 5 is like the methods like they would use. It would vary. One of them that I'm going to talk about is how they would put chips in people's brains,
Mm.
like computer chips.
Yeah.
And then like how we talked about in our last episode about our budgeting one, how we went on like a tangent with Bay on a Budget later on about like the airport in Colorado. They
Yeah.
think that there's a secret MK Ultra base at Fort Hood, Texas. So it's like this big underground operation that no one really knows about that's literally underground.
I have heard about that. Not a lot, so I'm really excited to kind of talk about that.
Yeah. And then MK Ultra has spawned the gang stalking phenomenon, which I don't know if you've ever heard about that, but it's reported that the subjects are like victims that have like been stalked by groups of people, and they're like picked, and it's like mind control prone people. So it's kind of like people they want to possibly abduct.
Yeah.
And it's like people that they look for to stalk in is like people that have a history of childhood trauma, mental illnesses, or a lot of time spent in meditation. So it's people that are kind of perceived as like crazy.
Yeah.
So it's like they'll kind of stalk them over a period of time to see if they want to actually abduct them or not.
What the?
Yeah, it's nuts. And then number 2 is that MK Ultra could be incorporated into satellite technology, which this one was a little more far-fetched for me, but then it kind of makes sense because it's the CIA, and then also if they're doing mind control, what's a better way than to use satellites?
Yeah.
And then the number 1 is that Facebook, 4chan, and 8chan. I didn't even know 8chan was a thing, so whatever. But they're tools of mind control that MK Ultra uses.
Holy shit.
So that was like the top 10 conspiracy theories around MK Ultra. But
you went like hard on that, and I am impressed, and I cannot wait to talk about all of this shit.
Oh, hell yeah. I picked like a couple of things out of there because some of those are like stupid, like the whole like candle thing. I was like interesting, but also they sell those at like the Chinese market that I go to. Like it's called dongs, and I was like, do I really think that dongs is gonna fucking put a chip in my ear? Maybe, I don't know. But
God, I've only done that one time, and it felt amazing.
Oh, really? Maybe you're like not a subject for MK Ultra then. They were like, no, this one liked it. Next.
She liked it too much. Oh my God, hold on. My favorite thing ever, because I used to have really clogged up ears when I was a kid, was when they would go and like do the pressure water in your ear and chunks of earwax would just like fall out. Did you ever have to do that?
What? No.
Well, I had really bad ear infections when I was little, and I almost had to have tubes put in. So like,
oh my God, me too.
What? We are soul sisters.
I know, Capricorn Virgo for life, bitch.
Yeah, so I would go in sometimes and they would do that because I would have earwax build up and chunks of it would just like fly out into this like bowl full of water and you could just see huge earwax chunks.
Oh God, that sounds traumatic, honestly.
I hated seeing the chunks, but it felt so good in my ear.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude?
Okay, go ahead.
So the one thing, before I found that like top 10 countdown, welcome to your top 10, I was really researching Operation Midnight Climax. And I'm not even going to lie, it's because of the name, and that's why I clicked on it, and that's why we're here today. So Operation Midnight Climax is one of like the subcategories, I guess, in MK Ultra, because there's like honestly so much shit.
Yeah, it says that there's like well, I had the number and I don't right now, but there were like hundreds of sub projects underneath MK Ultra at like mental institutions, and they would go to these like mental institutions and prisons, and it wasn't the CIA offering them, it was like a company that the CIA operated under, and they would go and offer them these large amounts of money as grants to do this research, but really it was like the CIA and they were going to these places so they would do their research for them. Really fucked up.
Yeah, it was crazy. So that's kind of like what this one was. So Operation Midnight Climax is exactly what it sounds like. So it's like the CIA would lure victims into their brothel that was employed by hookers. And basically what they would do is the prostitutes, they were paying them knowing that what they were doing was like sketchy as fuck. So the prostitutes would drug their clients that would come in. And this was happening mostly in New York and in California, kind of like where powerful people were employed. So it was definitely at a targeted audience. So the prostitutes would get $100 a night and guaranteed protection from the police harassment, which if I'm a prostitute, that sounds like a good ass time because number one, you're going to get $100 a night guaranteed. You probably aren't going to get murdered. And you can just keep on being a hoe and no one's going to arrest you. So that's like job security at this point. So this was totally illegal, obviously, because when the clients would come in, they would drug them to see how, I guess, so like they would mostly use alcohol mixed with LSD to see how far they could suggest their clients to go. So basically the guy that was running this shit, George Hunter White, an Army captain, OSS officer, and veteran agent of the FBN. So he's a Federal Bureau of Narcotics and a CIA operative. So he would be there behind like a two-way mirror, just chilling, drinking on his whiskey, watching this happen. And the drugs he would get to supply this operation, he would get from work because he was the part of the Federal Bureau of Narcotics. So they would just slip some drugs in there and see what would happen.
Also, he would record them for, you're probably about to say this, but also he would record them for blackmail later on if they tried to say, oh my gosh, I was drugged, you know?
Yeah. So like then like that's the thing, because like these were high up people and they didn't want other people to know that, you know, they were going to brothels. But meanwhile, it is 2019 and that whole Epstein situation, but you know, he didn't kill himself. But you know, that's out and about. Like what the fuck? Which is nuts. Yeah. And so then he wrote a letter saying Max work, and it said, I was a very minor missionary, actually a heretic, but I toiled wholeheartedly in the vineyards because it was fun, fun, fun. Where else could a red-blooded American boy lie, kill, cheat, steal, rape, and pillage with the sanction and blessing of all the highest? Which is fucking nuts. So basically, he's like a fucking sociopath. Like, what the fuck? Like, I just don't get how someone could, like, do crazy shit like that.
Yeah.
And then, like, brag about it.
A sociopath.
Facts.
Yeah, I was really interested in Midnight Climax, too, because he would just sit there and he would just fucking watch them and, like, get his jollies off. I mean, I don't know if he would get his jollies off, but I'm sure
he probably did. Yeah, he probably did. Like, there's no way he didn't. But then, like, it makes me wonder. So, like, you know how they're paying the prostitutes $100 a night, right? And then allegedly they were safe from the police. I'm not trying to shit on anybody's profession, but if you're a prostitute, I highly doubt you're the most trustworthy person to keep your lips sealed. So I think that they probably just killed these bitches when they were done with them, because they would probably say something. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, they're also doing drugs. They're also drinking. Like, they're the people that I would worry more about saying something because they have nothing to lose compared to their clientele that they're bringing in. So I'm like, when we're 100% sure they killed them.
Yeah. We're talking about prostitutes. This is in the 53 to 64 is like when MK Ultra was like a thing, quote unquote. So, I mean, those are prostitutes back then. Prostitutes nowadays are more, like, classy. They're call girls.
Yeah, they, like, go to, you know, really expensive dinners with their sugar daddies. And they're more like sugar babies, I think, now.
There you go, yeah. And, I mean, so I wouldn't say prostitutes now, but definitely back then those bitches were some hard prostitutes.
Oh, hell yeah. Like, they've seen some things, I'm sure. But I'm, like, 100% sure that they just fucking murdered them after that, because why would you keep someone like that alive? Like, that they literally know too much.
Yeah, and CIAs, like the CIA, I was listening to a podcast today called 13 O'Clock. It's a really good podcast, and they have a shit ton of episodes, but they did one on MK Ultra. And the guy who hosts it was in the Army, and he's like, he hates the CIA. He calls them spooks. He's like, they have nothing, right? They have nothing to do with any kind of law enforcement. They literally are just like spies who don't give a fuck about anyone else but themselves. Basically, they're all sociopaths.
Yeah, and because then the thing too is like it was hard for me to figure out what exactly the whole point of Midnight Climax was, because another part of this is that this guy would like watch what the drugs effects were doing on the men's behavior, and they were like installed recording devices, like you were saying, in the prostitutes' rooms, and they had like the electrical outlets were just like disguised as like cameras and stuff. And it's like, yeah, if you wanted to like just see the effects of like drugs on a person, like go to EDC, bitch. Like what? Like what do you mean? Like what's your problem? But I thought that was really interesting. At least for the first one.
Super, super interesting.
Maybe to add to that, I don't know if you have any, like if you're ready to switch.
I don't have anything really on Midnight Climax because, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot on it. You basically covered everything. But I do know the reason that they used LSD is because you cannot overdose on LSD.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's like one of the only drugs you cannot overdose on. So they would like, that's why they would use that one, you know, because if you were to do, I don't even think heroin was a thing in the 50s. It might have been. But I mean, they also used marijuana and alcohol, like you said, but LSD was like what they used in the long term because you can't die. I mean, you could die if you killed yourself on LSD, but you can't overdose.
Interesting. I did not know that.
I just learned that today.
Shit, the more you know. So I guess going along with this whole, I guess the umbrella part of this is that Stephen King wrote a book. It was the first Stephen King book I ever read, and which got me started on this whole fandom, I guess. But the book's called Firestarter, and it's a really fucking good book. And I'll just tell you like the synopsis of it, but it's basically as youths, okay, the youth, Andy and his wife Vicky participated in secret experiments, allowing themselves to be subjected to mysterious medical tests. Years later, the couple's daughter, Charlie, begins to exhibit the ability of setting fires solely with her mind. This volatile, oh, my baby's yelling. This talent makes the younger child extremely dangerous, and soon she becomes a target for the agency known as the Shop. So basically, it's like it reminded me a lot of MK Ultra because it's like I know she's like so mad about getting her diaper changed right now.
Piper's squeaking her toy.
I need all the children to just shut the fuck up.
Please, mommy's trying to work.
Mommy's trying to do her second job. Okay. Oh.
Is she calling you?
Yeah, I think right now she's faking it. Those aren't real.
Whenever you need to.
Those are fake as fuck. All right, we're paused, Juliet. Shit.
Jack does that. He'll like cry out and look to see if anybody's looking.
Okay.
Can Gordon handle her by himself?
Oh, yes, he's so good with her, honestly. He's like the best dad.
I love it.
Yeah, he's like seriously the best. Like she'll be like, dad, 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 like not even like intending to call for him, and he'll like run to her and pick her up, and I'm like, okay, well, she doesn't know what that means, so.
Wow. I read a study that said that moms and dads have their names because that's the first sound a baby naturally makes, and so that's what moms and dads just started calling themselves, like mom, dad, dada, mama. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, that is so weird because I want to be called Deathblade, so if she could just get that figured out.
Okay, bitch.
Basically, the whole movie and the whole book is about the product of two people that have been involved in government testing, which I guess, because like I was like, okay, why wouldn't MK Ultra just be like, hey, we'll give you $1,000 to just do some drugs? But then I was like, well, maybe it's because shit like this would happen. Like people that have done it could produce like these, like, I don't know, people with special powers.
Like not X-Men,
some X-Men. Yes, X-Men.
X-Men, and then what's that other one?
Honestly, I only know about X-Men because of the one girl from The Hunger Games.
Oh my god. We should ask Kate. She's really into shows like this. It was on Netflix recently. It was the Umbrella Academy.
Oh, I tried watching that and it was ass, so I definitely didn't watch it. Oh my God, did you see that the second season of You is out? I have to watch that.
Oh, I do have to watch that. Did you know that the lead singer of My Chemical Romance wrote The Umbrella Academy?
Really? MCR is coming back. They're doing a reunion tour, everyone. Get ready.
We are way off topic, but yes, they are, and it's so
Wow.
exciting. My
I did not know that.
emo heart is jumping for joy. Just kidding. It's putting layers of black eyeliner on and cutting my bangs and straightening my hair till it burns.
Literally. I just box dyed my hair black thinking about it. So going along with the whole mind control, I'm going to move on to like the second part that I really researched, which was how basically the CIA can remote control dogs.
I sort of heard about that in a YouTube video, and I mean, I wanted to talk about it a little bit, so go ahead.
So it's a part of this big mind control experiment that they did where, and they found this letter. I don't know how legit this letter is. I didn't read it because it was like giving me PTSD from when you had to read articles back in school, like that are MLA formatted or whatever.
Well, it was found. It was found in 2018 in a declassified file, and it's supposedly a letter to a doctor discussing work they did. So, I mean, it seems legit.
Yes. So, like, it has, like, some, like, snippets on the letter. Okay. So, a part of this experiment basically says that he is talking about this procedure he did on dogs, and it was a 3-year-long process with, like, these weird sketches of, like, arrows showing where the dogs would walk. And it says, as you know, I spent about 3 years working in the research area of rewarding electrical stimulation on the brain. In the lab, we performed a number of experiments with rats. In the open field, we employed dogs of several breeds. And there's these like weird pictures, and they're really grainy and disgusting. Like someone drew them in like dot artwork. And it says that they would put these chips like they did surgery. They put a chip in the dog's brain, and then the research program was to examine the possibility of controlling the behavior in a dog in an open field. So they're clearly like triggering a dog's regular stimulation, because if you just let a dog outside, at least my fucking dog, he's like, bye bitch, thanks for housing me, I'm on to another better life. But the dogs would have like squirrels running across the street, traffic, and all this stuff happening. And like every normal dog would just go chase after that shit. And these dogs, when they would remote control them, they wouldn't. They would walk like along the fence line in a perfect square rather than being stimulated by the outside areas. And then when they did that, the stimulation was working on their reward effect in their brain. So it was a continual delivery of stimulation showing them what to do. And then in their brain, they were rewarded by following the commands, if that makes sense. Yeah. So because they were doing what they were supposed to do, it was rewarding them rather than doing what they wanted to do, which was like, dog shit, which was nuts. But then I found this like on another dark hole where along with the dogs being mind controlled, they think that Cardi B is mind controlled. Because remember when you were talking about, I think you were talking about Al Roker just like looking into the camera or something, or maybe that was me for the Illuminati, or even if I don't know, I just know that was the situation.
I saw the thing about Cardi B. It's really weird.
Yeah, so they said that like it's this weird conspiracy where the government is kind of like mind controlling all of these celebrities, and Cardi B is one of them. So anytime like she does her weird shit, it's like a glitch. Like she is a bad clone. Like she's fucked up, but they said, who cares? Let it out into the wild anyways. Like she's like a terrible one. Like it's fucked up, but people love it. So they said that every time, like that one, was it on Ellen where she was weird as fuck, or Jimmy Kimmel or something, or basically I think it's everywhere she goes. Everyone like is eating this shit up and they're like, oh my God, she's so crazy. But other people are like, no. This is MK Ultra shit. Like this is her programming's fucked up. Like they put too much Hennessy on her or something. The wires are zapping. Like this is not okay.
There's also one with Kylie Jenner. She's in an interview and she keeps like her muscles keep spasming.
Weird.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, definitely send it to me because these celebrities cannot be real. Like, I'm so fucking sorry, but Taylor Swift, I hate on her so much, but I just can't see her going from this innocent country, like, and my first friend lost her virginity and I was sad about it, to like
Wow.
the Look What You Made Me Do song, or like, and now she's fighting with Kim Kardashian. First of all, if I had to put money on Kim Kardashian or fucking Taylor Swift, all my money's on Kim. She would fucking swang,
All
okay?
she
Like,
had to do
there's
is like
no
turn
way.
around and punch her in her ass, and she'd be out
Yes,
like
so
a light.
I out like a light. And I was just like, no, like Taylor Swift is just nothing to me. Like, I don't know. Um, and then that's kind of like where my research kind of stopped because I just got like started reading more stories about like the dog mind control, but because I, for some reason, I guess controlling dogs' minds is shocking to me because I just know my dog and he's such a dick. Like, he does not listen. And like sometimes he does, but he's so old now. He's like, I don't fuck with you. I'm older than you. So,
Is he
you
back
know,
in your house,
no, he's still with Mimi being an emotional support animal.
living his best life?
Yeah, he doesn't want to come back here. We have a baby and I don't feed him table food. So he's like, fuck y'all.
Okay, so is that let me kind of go off on like a little what I found about Jesus, I'm having a stroke. I feel like I have strokes every episode.
Consistency is honestly key though.
Okay,
So,
let me talk about like what I found. Because you
okay.
said that was it, right?
Yeah, for the most part, like those are the two that I really like dive down. I dabbled in some other stuff, but I'm sure like you covered those.
I don't know. I feel like I don't have a lot compared to you. So, like, I don't know. Like you said, they started in 1953, and so they were reduced in scope, so that made less visible by 1964, even further in 67, and then supposedly everything halted with MK Ultra in 1973. So they were doing their thing for 20 years. But like you said, I think MK Ultra in a way is still going on today. I found really interesting about MK Ultra. Do you know what the Nuremberg trials were?
A little bit.
Okay, so basically after World War II, all these like governments came together and there were trials for the mistreatment of people during World War II, like, putting people in gas chambers and
All like crazy tests and like the
yeah,
twin tests and
oh
stuff.
my
Those fucked
God.
me up.
All the stuff from the Holocaust just like fucks me the fuck up. Every time I go to the
Hmm.
museum, I cry my eyes out, and it's just like I can't even fathom that that was part of our history, and really not that long ago, if you
Yeah,
think
not
about
at
it.
all.
But so basically, after World War II, they had Nuremberg trials in 1946, and it was basically setting guidelines for human treatment. Okay, and the U.S. government was part of this.
Y'all were in attendance.
And then after the trials, the US was like, we had our fingers crossed that whole time, never mind.
You see, I
And they,
promised someone else that I was not going to listen. So,
right. And then they our government recruited Nazi scientists and basically promised them that if they would come over to the US and help them with, the MK Ultra stuff, they would clear their names of all the bad shit they did in the war.
yeah,
Okay? That blew my mind.
yeah.
Um, I still can't even really think about that. They
I just
basically
think, like, go ahead. No,
they
you go
called
ahead.
it they called it Operation Paperclip before it was turned into MK Ultra. They called it Operation Paperclip, and it was basically like the US trying to get all the shit, like the data that the Nazi scientists collected from doing these like human experiments and stuff. Like the US wanted that. And then once they had that, they moved to MK Ultra where they just kind of continued that. But
Can I
basically they were like,
just
fuck the Nuremberg trials. Fuck them.
Can I just tell you when you said Operation Paperclip, how I thought of, remember back in when Microsoft was first a thing and the paperclip would pop up when you were trying to write a Word document and the paperclip was like, do you need help? And you could like click on it and make them dance and move. That's
Yes, I
exactly
remember
what I
that.
thought of.
Like he was the mascot for Operation Paperclip.
Yeah. And like they were like at the trial and he pops up, "Hey, you guys need some help? Come to the United States. I help you." That's immediately what I fucking thought of.
No, that's the best thing ever. So I found out how many programs like were related, and there was 150 sub projects under MK Ultra.
Okay, honestly, I feel like there could be a billion more because I was also reading some shit about how people are trying to link mass shootings to MK Ultra, like Columbine and stuff like that. And I
Yeah.
feel like you just literally anything could be MK Ultra because I also read that airplanes, like when you see them in the sky and you see like the fumes coming out, those clouds,
Yeah.
like you allegedly shouldn't be able to see that or something's going on with like that's not actually like gas from the airplane. It's smoke brainwashing us. So that's also MK. You know what I mean? Like everything could be because it's such a broad umbrella, I
Oh
feel, but
yeah.
mostly mind control. But yeah, I was reading some shit about how they were saying mass shootings had to do with MK Ultra because of I guess these people must have done earwax candles and there you go.
I don't know, that's crazy to think about, especially since these mass shootings are happening. But I mean, honestly, like you said, MK Ultra could blame M everything on MK Ultra. I forgot to tell you I had someone DM us on Instagram and ask if we could talk about chemtrails. Do you know what those are?
Not really. No, I don't actually know a lot of them.
Okay, well we'll do like a whole episode, but basically what you were talking about, like planes when they let out those fumes, it's not really like
Oh, okay, then
airplane
yes, I do.
fumes. It's like
I am very well educated in this. Yes.
okay, yeah. Did you not know what I was talking about?
I had no idea. So it's like chemtrails. Like I was thinking like happy trails. What is happening here?
Yeah,
Got
that's
you.
like a whole
Chemtrails.
thing. So anyway, she wants us to talk about that, so we'll have to do like either a small episode or a big episode on chemtrails. Anyway,
Oh,
so what
hell
I was
yeah.
gonna say, I watched this crazy ass, multiple actually, YouTube videos today about this mental institution in Canada that was part of MK Ultra, and I kind of want to
Oh
talk about that
God.
for a minute.
Yeah, do it.
Okay, so it was in the 60s. And first of all, before I even get started, does it also blow your mind that, like, up until the 80s, you could just take someone to a mental institution and just fucking drop them off with no reason?
Oh my God, dude. Yeah, they were like, my wife's on her period and she's being a total bitch right now. They'd be like, lock her up, room 4. Like that
One of
fucked me
these
up.
women that I'm about to talk about, literally, she went there. Her husband sent her there because she had postpartum depression. And of course, back then they didn't know what that was. They were just like, oh, she had a baby and now she's crazy. And so she went for postpartum depression, and they told her it was a vacation from her kids so that she could, and
Oh,
she willingly went because women had no backbone back then. I'm sorry, they just didn't.
no, they didn't.
And then they ran all these tests on her. Anyway, I'm gonna talk about it in a minute. But I just wanted to know if I was like the only person who thought that was absolutely fucking wild that up until the 80s you were allowed to do that.
Yeah, dude, I thought that shit was so wild because it's like even kids, like if their kids would act out, because they're kids and they're hyper, they would drop off children too. It wasn't just like adults, it was like kids. Like your kid's 3 years old and he's jumping off the roof. They were like, he's fucked in the head. Let's just drop him off. And people would be like, okay, cool.
It's
And then they just drop off kids. And I was like, what the fuck?
And I can't say that all places were horrible and horrible treatment, but I mean, back then they thought of the mentally ill as like a lesser class, you
Yeah.
know, and I'm sure they just, oh, it's just so fucked up. Anyway, so in the 60s, and before that, really, there was this doctor in Canada, and he was actually American, but he was the head of this mental institution. Can you Google it for me real quick? Just mental institution involved in MK Ultra in Canada. I can't remember the name of it.
Okay, I'm on it.
Okay, thanks. Anyway, his name was Dr. Cameron, and he got a grant that he thought was from like a
Allen
government.
Memorial?
What is it?
Allen Memorial?
Allen Memorial. Yeah, yeah. Allen, and it looks like a castle, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like kind of really nice.
It
Like
is.
if I was crazy, I'd be like, okay. Yeah, like
Also
a
probably
waterside view.
spooky as fuck.
Yeah, it'd be spooky. I mean, there's like a waterside view, so I don't know. Worth it.
And it's in Canada, which you think Canada's really great, and then you hear about what this doctor does, and you're like, oh, never mind.
Huh.
So he got this grant that he thought was like from the government, but it was actually from the CIA. And it was $80,000, and back then that was like a shit ton of money. And so he started doing tests without on people without their permission because that's what they did in MK Ultra. Like nobody's gonna willingly sign up to get electroshock therapy for 80 days in a row, you know?
Yeah.
So he starts doing. I'm like getting the chills thinking about it. He puts
It's just,
people to, he puts people to sleep for like months at a time by just dosing them with heavy drugs, and he would play recordings to try and break them down mentally to the point where they were like a baby again.
what the fuck?
Yeah. And a
So
lot of
when you, I
people.
mean,
Oh, go
I
ahead.
don't know if you know, but like when you say they drug them into like a state where they're still lucid and they just can't move, like they're paralyzed but still can hear, or drugs them
No,
like they're
like
totally like they're carrots.
they're like vegetables. They
Oh my
basically
God.
are sleeping for like 40 to 60 days consecutively, and just over and over this recording is playing in their room. Not only that recording that I'm sure your subconscious is taking in, but also the drugs you're being injected with. And then while they were sleeping, along with the recordings they were having to listen to, they were getting electroshock therapy.
No.
Yeah, there was an interview with a guy, and I mean, it was back in the 80s. It was by Fifth Element, I think, is the news program, and
Okay.
he was a patient. He went in because like his parents dropped him off at the mental institution because he was having leg pain. Okay, and the doctor
I'm
basically
sorry.
told him, yeah, the doctor basically told him like it's all in your mind. You need to go to the mental institution. He was 18.
Oh my
I mean,
God. I
if
mean,
looking
I've
back
heard of
now, he
some,
probably had restless leg syndrome or fucking
right?
like a blood clot. I don't know.
He had a fucking DVT and they had to cut off his leg, but it's all in your head, honey. You're fine.
Oh my God. So he remembers. He remembers, well, actually not a lot because like they wanted it
It's like varied because
right.
he was in MK Ultra like concentration camp basically, but also he grew up there. But they had to like fucked with his brain.
Yeah, well, he was 18 when he went in, and he said he really doesn't have a lot of memories left, and
Yeah.
he only found out about the stuff that he's remembering because he's doing hypnosis, and also he requested to have his medical records from that place when he was
Oh
older.
God.
Because I mean, they're dumb. I don't know why they would, but they recorded everything they did. So he has medical records saying he was drugged to sleep for 30 days, made to listen to these recordings, and went through multiple sessions of electroshock therapy. So he has this medical record saying
No
they did
way.
this. And that was legal back then. Or, the line was really thin. But so, yeah, he's one person. And then the lady who went in for postpartum depression was subjected to multiple days of LSD, like consecutively. They just dosed her, and she never was able to come out of it. She was just on this constant LSD trip. And for someone who doesn't know they're being given LSD, that's got to be some trippy shit. Because, like, have you ever done a
Right?
psychedelic?
No.
You you see things, and to be already in this weakened mind state of like having postpartum depression and then being given some drug that you don't know is a psychedelic and you just start seeing wild ass shit. I cannot imagine what that's like.
Yeah, because I was reading something about how one guy was saying that during his time of like being a victim, he was like, it's crazy because all of a sudden you're just sitting there and you're literally just sitting still and you know you are, but at the same time you're looking out the window and the window turns into something else and you hear dogs barking and then something appears in front of your face, but there's actually nothing there this whole time. And then when they were fucking with them, I guess, by like talking to them while they're on LSD, basically he was like, it's this whole like terrifying experience because all this shit's happening, but you're just sitting there, but also it feels like you're sprinting in circles at the same time.
I can't I can't imagine having to go through that. And having
Right?
multiple, like, electroshock therapy is, I'm sure, not ideal for anybody. It's like having, what is that thing where they drill that, like, ice pick into your eye? What is that?
Oh my God, stop. Yeah, into the frontal lobe.
I can't
Oh
remember
my
what it's
God, through
called.
their fucking eye. I hate eyes. Yeah. God. And people would be like just straight up awake while they did it.
Yeah. So at that mental institution, he did this for a very long time. He did it on a lot of patients, had no written approval or verbal approval from these patients. He did not tell them what he was doing. And this one lady, it's so sad. Um, she had children and then she went, because I guess that's what a lot of women did. They were promised like a vacation away from their kids or something, and they would go.
Well, sign me up. Hello, knock knock. It's me. Are the doors still open? I've had a child.
I need a vacation.
My child is currently crawling down the hallway, slamming a block on the floor.
Oh my God, I love her so much. Um, so yeah, she went there and she had to go through these horrible, inhumane treatments. And she did not remember her children when she came out. And even to this day, her children are like grown. They're my parents' age, so late 50s. And she's probably in her 80s or 90s. And she can only remember certain things because she's done hypnosis and she still has a relationship with her daughters and they kind of remind her. But she was basically reverted back to being a baby because she did not remember how to use the bathroom. She did not remember how to speak.
What?
I mean, the stuff they were doing, quote unquote, worked because it did what they wanted it to do, but it was such a fucked up thing to begin with to be done onto humans who
Wow.
did not agree to it. You know?
That's crazy.
It's
I mean,
really
yeah, because
sad.
when you think about, yeah, I guess like when you think about when it comes to medical care, one thing I always found really sketchy about being in the medical field, especially when I was working on the floor as a nurse, is when you had patients that couldn't speak up for themselves and they would have their next of kin who was, making their legal decisions or whatever. It's like at one point, are you pushing this shit too far? Like like, oh my God, we would have like patients that were so old, like they were 98 and they were like tanked. And then the family was like, no, full code, do everything to save them. And like, at what point is this not okay? Because like,
Yeah.
I feel like as a healthcare professional, you're not doing shit for this person. They're 98. They're not going to make it. Sorry, honey, but they gone. But I mean, people just couldn't let go. So it's even when it comes to modern day times and that kind of shit. Like, when does that piece of paper not matter anymore? Because, I mean, obviously this guy was doing whatever the fuck he wanted. That's
Yeah.
nuts. It reminds me of like American Horror Story, the Alien season.
Yes. Oh my God, that
But
really fucked me up. But the thing is, a lot of these families did not know what was going on, and even the patients didn't know what was going on until, I think the late 70s when all these documents came to surface because they were declassified. And then
yeah,
they like heard about it and they were like, hey, I was there. And so they asked for their medical records and that's how they found out. Because a lot of people started coming around in the 70s and 80s and 90s saying they were subjected to stuff like this when they were kids and nobody was believing them because their conspiracy theories were not like a well-known thing back then. You were just crazy. And so
well,
a lot of, oh, go ahead.
speaking of this whole thing, I'm on the CIA's website. I don't know how I got here, but I'm here. Um,
I'm here and it's happening.
Hi, it's me. I might have a virus on my computer. I might have given it to the CIA. It's me, bitch. When it comes to MK Ultra, there's like this little 2-pager, a PDF file, and the title says "Letters to the Editor," and it's like this photocopied thing of like a piece that was in the internet or in the paper. Wow, sorry, boomers. So it's titled letters to the editor, and then like the subtitle for the actual article is called "The Victims of MK Ultra," and it's basically someone. I can't really read what the bottom says, but I think it's someone talking about how families that were involved in this Canadian CIA MK Ultra shit, they're trying to sue the government for what the fuck they did to their families. And the CIA is saying that, so the family is saying that the CIA is doing everything that they can to stall by compensating all these families and basically admitting that what they did was fucked up. And the families are saying that the CIA supported these brainwashing experiments with the LSD and the drugs and all that crazy other shit that you mentioned. And that this family member was like, until we're getting compensated for this, we're going to continue to fight in court until we get our justice. And I just think that it's really weird that this little article is posted on the CIA's website. Like, I don't know. I just think it's like really weird. You're fine. But like, I just think that it's really fucking weird. Like, this article was published in 1985. They found the document in 2005, and then they published it to their website in 2016.
Why?
I have no idea. I think this is under the Freedom of Information Act, and basically what that like is that as the United States, we should have freedoms and that they're not trying to keep information from us. Basically, it provides that any person has a right enforceable in court to obtain access to federal agency records, except to extent that such records are going to fuck up shit. Like the National General. Basically, yeah. Like you can have, basically you can have any documents you want, any records, except for public disclosure by national security laws. So you can have stuff, just not the classified stuff, but we're going to tell you what's declassified. So.
Wow.
Which I think
is so
weird. Like, why would you even post that? Like, hello? What is happening? And then there's a whole other article, but it's like really long. And I think it's just like somebody else just trying to say shit that they're still mad about all the experiments that happened. But it's so weird that they would publish these two articles from newspapers randomly.
Maybe they had to.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, it leaves no information, so.
Piper, I'll hit your nose.
Piper, I will hit that nose, girl.
That's my onion rings.
Piper, you can have onions or you'll die.
Wait, is that true? Because I just gave her one.
I think it's raw onions. Also, don't give your dog grapes.
Oh, I knew that. I also think you're not supposed to give them avocado.
Oh, really? JD has had hella avocado.
Maybe it's like in certain amounts. I don't know.
I fucking told Mimi, I was like, listen, bitch, JD cannot have dairy because he's a dog, and this bitch still feeds him ice cream. And I was like, you know what? If this motherfucker is dumb enough to eat it and he keeps shitting, it's not my fault. I swear I'm a good dog mom. Don't come for me, but also, I have no time for stupidity.
Piper will eat chocolate and she doesn't die. And I mean, she shouldn't, but Rich will feed her some. And I'm like, babe. He's like, yeah, but if she dies, we get a bulldog. So fucked up.
She's an X-Men, okay? That's why. Or whatever we talked about earlier.
She's fucking eating chicken bones. She's eating 2 pounds of raw hamburger meat out of the trash. She's invincible.
One time, Gordon's grandma, R.I.P., fed JD cooked chicken wing, like the bone part, and I literally spent like 2 hours trying to get him to vomit it up because I thought he was going to die. And I was like, I'm such a dumb bitch. Dogs literally eat sticks. So, yeah.
And I mean, didn't they used to survive off bones? And like,
I mean, I don't know. But my dog's a princess, so I don't know if his stomach probably wouldn't. I don't know how dogs work. Okay, I'm not a veterinarian.
JD baby.
The baby. So one thing I found too was like a picture. I'll try and describe it of their sensory deprivation. So they would put people in a small room big enough to hold like a twin size mattress. So from wall to wall, it's just mattress. And then they would basically tie the patients down to the bed cover up their eyes so they can't see anything. The room's also dark. And they would have a hole cut out in the wall where they would have wires attached to the head. And then those wires would go through the hole to like a computer or some shit. I don't know. And they had your whole arms padded. You had covers over your ears. So you can't see anything. You can't feel anything. You can't hear anything. And you're blindfolded. And it was 24 hours a day. And so basically you just shit and pissed yourself. And basically I was looking at the psychological effects of the sensory deprivation, and it turned people insane. Like absolutely insane. Because I don't know if you've ever saw those sleep deprivation tanks that you can actually pay money to go to, like at spas.
No.
It's called like
Hey,
maybe
can
like
we
a,
pause really quick? I
yeah.
think so bad I can't focus.
Oh my god, go pee, bitch, go pee.
Okay, let's go. Continue.
So what I was saying, I think, is that how you can actually pay real life dollar bills that you fucking earned to go into like a sleep deprivation tank. And there's one in Orlando here. It's called Orlando Float and Massage. So you're paying actual dollars to be in this tank. And let me just tell you how expensive it is, because what the fuck. One float a month for 70 or for 60 minutes. You got a 60-minute float. And a 75-minute massage. And it's $129. That is one a month.
No, thank you.
And then you can do another float. Basically, they charge you a fuck ton of money. So if you do 4 floats for 60 minutes, it's $130. And then if you do a 120-minute float for 4 floats a month, it's $319.
I think I've seen these.
Like, what?
I
don't
feel like
understand.
anyone who has claustrophobia would never be able to do that.
No, and like the cryotherapy or whatever, I've never done it. I don't think. I think I had to do something in high school with my leg when I was running, but I don't think I went in the freezer tank like other people do. But I was just like, what? I don't understand. Like, why? Like, okay, so all the yogis are like, oh, it's good for you to center your chakras with your moon crystals and connect with your inner self. Bitch, I'm with myself all day. I don't even like being with myself. Okay, I know me.
Just
the fuck would I want to spend, right? Why would I want to spend more fucking time alone with myself? And now I have to like talk to myself like in the quiet? No thanks, girl. That's why we got Spotify on all the time. I don't fucking think so.
Whatever.
Yeah.
They can pay their stupid money to do that.
Yeah, I was like, that's really expensive, because also can't you just go to your fucking local YMCA and just jump in the pool? Like,
just fucking get in your bathtub and shut the door.
Facts. Go ahead and turn on your EDC like glow sticks and just fucking close your eyes and dunk your ears under the water. Why y'all? You know what? I have a new business venture. I have a bathtub at my house in the guest bedroom or in the guest bathroom. So $140 4 times a month. Y'all can come to my house and stick your head in my tub. So DM us at Wild Moke Pod and we'll get this set up. Because
you don't even have access to the DMs, Ariana.
You're right. I don't know our password. I don't know anything about it. I also commented no today on your poll, and I meant to say yes, but I can't go back and change it.
Okay, so I saw that, and I was like, she meant to put yes, because otherwise that's just a dick move.
No, I definitely meant to say yes, and then I tried to go backwards, and then you can't change your answer. So I was like, well, whoops. So yeah, DM Caroline and then tell her to tell me when I come to my house to float in my tub for $140. That's the discounted price. Become a member today.
Use code WILD.
Wild MK Ultra.
Oh my god.
If my baby screams, there's gonna be a contract. If my baby screams and you can hear her, that's on you and that's on period, because that's not my fault. So
I can't breathe. Okay. Do you have anything else on MK Ultra? Just real quick.
Not
you're
really.
At an hour and 4 minutes.
Cool. In conclusion, MK Ultra is real. Like, okay, so what do you think? I guess at the end of every episode, we should kind of go over, like, do we believe this shit that we're talking about, or like what?
I mean, MK Ultra definitely happened, and I mean, I am definitely very open-minded. I question everything, and I don't know. It definitely happened, but with what you're saying about like Cardi B and stuff, to say directly that's MK Ultra, it's like MK Ultra esque.
Esque.
Is that like a thing? Like MK Ultra ish? But is it really
Yeah.
MK Ultra? But I definitely
Yeah, yeah.
know MK Ultra happened and it was really fucked up and they did things that were definitely illegal and they fucked people's lives up. It really reminds me a lot of Stranger Things. Have you ever seen Stranger Things?
Oh yeah, I love Stranger Things.
I mean, that's some secret government shit. And if you think that secret government shit still doesn't happen, you're dumb.
Wrong.
I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you real dumb.
I want to talk about Fort Hood. Do you know more about it? Should we
No.
do a whole episode on it?
Hell yeah.
Okay, well then let's do that instead of just trying to bring it up now. I really don't have anything else except for what I found really interesting was there was like one actual documented death with MK Ultra and it was a CIA agent. You want me to talk about that for a second?
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about that
Okay.
really quick because that's interesting
Do you
because
know
I didn't
about
see
that?
shit. No, I didn't see anything about anybody dying, and that's why I was like, I'm pretty sure all these fucking prostitutes got because like there's no way to just let them run around after that. Like, okay, here's your $100. Thanks, bitch.
You know what just happened?
What?
My fucking mic stand broke.
Oh my God, you can still return it. It's in less than 60 days.
Okay. Get your fucking life together, Caroline.
What I say to me every day. All
On
right,
a
Ariana, today's
daily
the day.
basis.
Ariana, today's the day. Just don't fuck up today, okay? Great.
Just
Sips coffee.
at least once do something that will be memorable,
In a good way.
right? Okay. So the head dude of MK Ultra, his name was Sydney. I don't know his last name. I'm not even gonna try. He was secretly running LSD dosing test on another member of the CIA, and his name is Frank Olson.
Wait a second.
Okay,
So
are you
you have
following?
like internal dose. Okay, yeah, continue. Okay.
Yeah, it was a thing. Before people, I mean, before other CIA agents and the military started to realize that like this whole thing was fucked up, they were volunteering to be dosed.
What?
Does that blow your mind? They were volunteering to do these crazy experiments, but Frank Olson did not volunteer. His boss was just secretly dosing him.
Okay, this reminds me of like in middle school, like when they're like, who wants to read next? And no one wants to fucking read. And they voluntold his ass, you're reading this paragraph, and you didn't pre-read it first. And now you're like, trying to read this fucking. Okay, continue.
Um, okay, so Frank Olson was basically a good dude, and he was like, everything's real fucked up right now, and y'all are like killing a lot of monkeys. He did not like all the mistreatment to the animals, and he was just questioning everything, and so he wound up dead. Surprise,
Wow.
surprise, the government
Right.
secretly killed somebody.
Oops.
Um, Supposedly, they're saying he committed suicide and jumped off the 13th story window, but there was no sign of suicide. It looked like he was pushed. And I mean, with how he was questioning everything and then the secret dosing that Sydney, his boss, was doing, I'm sure he was murdered. But that's the
Oh
only
yeah.
documented death with MK Ultra. And
Dude, that's so crazy.
yeah. Oh, there was also a famous tennis player. I don't know his name, and there was
Andre Agassi.
yes. He was admitted to a mental institution because he was depressed, and that's what you did back then. Like you just went to a mental institution, and they ran these tests on him, and he ended up dying. So there's two actual documented deaths, but like there's not a lot on the tennis player, and there's a lot on Frank Olson. And that's it.
Wow.
Yeah. Real fucked up shit. Our
Yeah, that
government.
is like fucking nuts. Yeah. Okay, so I don't know how this came up, but have you heard about the Korean elevator game?
No.
Okay, we should talk about that at some point too because it's crazy.
Is it? Give me like a synopsis or something, like a hint.
It's known as the elevator game to the other world, where basically you do this like weird shit where you press certain buttons on an elevator and the elevator you're in has to have so many floors in it. You get out, turn around, come back in the elevator, press more buttons, up, down, left, right, do this, do that, and then it portals you into another dimension.
Hold the phone.
Holding it.
That is insane. It sounds right up my alley. I love some weird shit like that.
And there's a murder mystery that goes along with this elevator game.
Mystery.
Basically, this one girl was. Have you heard about this? It was in California.
Don't
This
tell
one
me.
girl.
Don't
All
tell
right.
me. I want to do a whole episode. Will you go into our Google document and add Fort Hood and the Korean elevator game?
Yeah, I will. I'm in the docs now.
Awesome. So I don't really have anything else on MK Ultra. I would highly recommend that if you're listening to this, go to YouTube or just Google MK Ultra and read about all the fucked up shit that went on. That way, you know.
If you know, you know.
And I bet you your grandparents or your parents, depending on how old you are, know about this because I mean it was their generation that were affected by this. You want to hit us with an outro?
Yeah, you guys can follow us over on Instagram. That's where Caroline is the most active over at Wild and Woke Pod. DM her about my sleep deprivation tank. Please.
Use code Wild and Woke MK
for a discount. You can, from there, basically, that's all of our links. Just go to Instagram. We have a link tree because Caroline set it up. You can follow our Patreon at Patreon Wild and Woke. We have our secret Facebook group, which is not actually a secret because it's there.
Well, we do have a secret one, but it's only if you're a Patreon.
Damn, I'm not even in that. Okay, I got to get on that. And yeah, leave us a review. We harped on that at the beginning of the episode, so I'm not going to harp on it anymore. Just fucking do it. Nike, just do it.
Bye.
Bye.